This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Charlamagne fuels leaving the Breakfast Club rumors by the end of the year. People were saying that he's going to leave by the end of the year because that's when his contract up. He even said it himself. He might not be renewing his contract at iHeart. It could either be a renegotiation tactic or 10 years was enough for him. And he wants to move on to these other things. He just got a talk show on Comedy Central, so that's pretty big, okay? He had the show on MTV2. Now he's gonna have a talk show on Comedy Central once a week, or a weekly talk show. I don't know if it's like Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. We don't know all the details yet, but it's been announced, and it will air in like the fall. He might leave, okay? He might leave the Breakfast Club, and people already kind of assume this, the way he like took Gucci's side with Angela Yee thing, and just the way he's been moving. You know, he had a show on YouTube interviewing people, which they do on the Breakfast Club, kind of competing with his own brand. You know, so we'll have to see what happens with that. I mean, it's his life. It's not a bad thing, you know. It's just wow. Okay, different, change. DJ Vlad said something about Joe Budden on, I think it was on No Jumper, or it was on Nick Cannon. I think it was on No Jumper. And he said that, like, I don't know why Vlad would even be saying this, but he said him and Joe Budden's problem stems from a club, and Joe Budden was shook because Vlad had somebody with him, and Joe Budden left. Weird story to tell, but you know, Vlad and Joe Budden are very successful doing what they do. Okay. Joe Budden felt like he needed to respond to this, and he said, "No, I don't like you because of the Rick Ross thing. I don't like you because of the ransom thing." Now, the ransom thing, I'll chime in on because I was around during that time. The way Joe Budden tells it and the way it actually happened is totally different. Yeah, ransom went away and was able to forgive Joe Budden. Okay, but I've told this story before. Now, Joe Budden's totally different person today than he was back then. I'll say that. But around that time, Ransom and Joe Budden just didn't get along anymore. They were both on Desert Storm. They didn't get along. They were talking about each other on records. Joe Budden got tough one day, went to Ransom's block without telling him, thought he was going to press Ransom on his block. I can tell this story because Ransom did time for this story, okay? And I remember hearing how this went down from Ransom, okay? So basically, Joe Budden came with a couple people, thought he was going to press Ransom on his own block, had the video camera out because everybody wanted to be on DVDs back then, and Joe Budden was getting footage to release to the DVDs, okay, into the all the blogs and everything, okay. So Joe Budden had his camera going down. Ransom saw him coming. Said, "Whoa!" Went upstairs, got a weapon. Didn't fire at anybody. Just let one off to let him know he, ain't no games down there. They ran, and then Joe Budden did some video in front of an Applebee's that's probably still on the internet. Him popping his stuff like, "Yeah, I went down there, pressed Ransom, blah, blah, blah." All of a sudden, hours later, or maybe the next day, it was something like that. I can't remember specifically because it was, 2009 or 8 when this happened? I think it was 2009 when this happened. Then they, went in Ransom's crib, found a weapon. He went away. We can only speculate what really happened, okay? But all I know is everything was told in that blog, okay? And the boys watched the internet. I always warned people, even when I was doing DVDs, I would erase footage because people would talk too much on the camera. And I would look at them and I'd be like, "Are you crazy, man? You're talking too much. Talk a little more code." I helped a lot of people during those days with DVDs and everything else. people would say too much, and I would not put it in because I did not want to incriminate anybody. Now, there was some footage after that, or maybe before that moment or after that moment. Ransom went to one of Joe Budden's people's house, and they slapped him. I know this because I was sent the footage too. Vlad was sent the footage, I was sent the footage. I was hesitant putting it up because it's incriminating. Going to someone's house and slapping them in the face. I remember when Vlad put it up, me and him argued about it for a second because I was like, well, you know, I was kind of upset it went out. So I was telling him, no, you're not supposed to have that. Like, I wanted to, like, I was hoping to diffuse that. Because once you start doing stuff like that, it's going off record, and it's getting too personal. And I'll agree with Joe Budden on this, that Vlad probably shouldn't have put that footage out. And when I was working with Q at WorldStar, because we basically built that together from 07, 08, and 09, and 2010, I did not like a lot of stuff that went up. And that's the reason I left in 2011. I just couldn't be affiliated with that anymore. I was about doing music videos. You know, I wasn't really about the controversy as much, because I really love music. But the controversy is cool up into a certain point, you know? Like, we're gonna get into a story in a minute. That's a little bit of controversy, and things go a little too far, you know? I don't like it when things get too far. I'll report on it, but I don't want to be a part of it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be, like, the person doing it. I would always... You can't stop someone from doing something. Like, I've been in situations in the past where somebody wanted to do this on camera, and you can talk to them. I can reason with them all I want, but if they want to do it, there's nothing stopping some people, you know? So, I don't know, but I've always tried to be a voice of reason. I've never been like, yeah, do that. I don't want to see anybody go to jail. So Joe Budden's right about that. Vlad probably shouldn't have posted it. Then he said Vlad did something else. But Joe Budden was pretty different during this time and kind of fueled it and was talking a little, like, right when the incident happened, he went right to the camera. Like, Joe Budden is different now. Joe Budden's, like, more successful now to me. More calm and more rational. I think he had a lot more to prove in 2009 and 10 than he did now. Now he feels he's proved a lot, okay? So I'm trying to kind of balance this whole story out where it's not like, oh no, he's totally wrong. I'm just balancing the story out. And Ransom had to go away for, like, I think he did 2 years. I think he did 2 years for that. And Ransom was, like, Ransom's always been a great rapper. He is a great rapper. He just didn't get a fair shot. That's how I feel. Then we got 50 Cent and T.I. T.I.'s man, supposedly, I don't know if this is true. They might be just saying this. So 50 Cent had a birthday party last night. I guess one of T.I.'s guys were there. I don't know who the guy is in the footage. But they did a live this morning, and this is where T.I. was addressing the Crime Stoppers thing. Well, they also address a situation where Tony Yayo allegedly pressed his friend in the club and was talking real tough to him. This guy right here. He was in a club in Brooklyn. T.I.'s like talking to him. And this guy's like, they're kind of like almost incriminating Tony Yayo by saying like, yeah, he was talking like weapon talk. I was like, stop it. Why are you saying that on IG Live? Are you serious? Like, you could say, yeah, he tried to press me. That's totally different. But once you start talking specifics, they're the ones who did it, not me. I'm just telling you what I saw. And I was like, wow. T.I.'s tripping right now. This whole 50 Cent thing got him into a different bag. When you know, the stuff he was talking a couple weeks ago, he's a famous person in Atlanta, right? Something happened over the weekend. He has put it up on his page. But like, what's gonna happen? The little girl lost her life over the weekend, man. An 8-year-old down by that Wendy's. They tried to take over the blocks, and something happened. I don't know what he could do. I don't know what anybody could do, but the man is hurting right now. You know, it's just super spooky, man. You know what's going on everywhere. You know. Anyways, I don't think Tony really probably pressed him playfully, and he took it too far. And T.I.'s wanting to fuel this whole like IG battle with 50 Cent, which probably won't happen. T.I. and Jeezy should just do it. It would be much more interesting. T.I. and 50 Cent, T.I. has enough records to do 50 Cent too. T.I. has a lot of records. He has 10 years worth of, I only count 10 years. Because T.I. to me, 2002 to 2000, I would say 8 years. 2010, no, I would say give him to 2012. 10 years. Hot records, for sure. Super hot records. One of my favorite artists of that time period right there. One of my top artists. It's still in my playlist today. Timeless records. 50 Cent has some timeless records, but some of them didn't stand the test of time too well. But we all love 50 Cent because 50 Cent. He keeps driving home that he's not scared of 50 Cent. We get it, bro. We get it. Anyways, guys, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Sorry to make this news so long. I appreciate you guys, and I'll check you guys in the next one.